Welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. When you find yourself on a new path in life, whether planned or unexpected, you may feel lost and unsure which path to take. Your decisions of how to move forward may be tainted by adversities of your younger life. I will partner with you so you can discover what you need to come home, whether that is a physical home or the home in you. Moving Forward for Life with Rosita starts now. Hi, and welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. I'm Rosita, your discovery coach and realtor. And one thing that is constant in life is that there will always be change. And change comes from life events. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing in a home, whether you are grieving the loss of a loved one, maybe getting married or getting divorced, or a change in your career or financial circumstances. One thing is clear is that when you find yourself on a new path, whether it's planned or unexpected, what you know is home shifts, or sometimes it's shattered, and you may feel confused and unsure which path to take. Now, here's what's clear. How you process the change will impact the trajectory of your life. As a discovery coach and realtor, I specialize in helping you find your path. I partner with you to determine what you need to come home, whether that is a physical home or the home in you. Choosing the trajectory of your life is within your reach. You have a choice. So today, let's get started. Our topic is, should I stay or should I go? Part 2. Joining me is my guest, Dorez Seals. Welcome, Dorez.
Thank you for having me today, Rosita.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
I just wanted to share with our listeners a quick get to know you from the bio. I'm just picking out some certain points that really spoke to me. So as a teen, you've always had a passion for fashion.
Yes.
And she always had these visions of dresses and suits and whatever she conjured up, created in her mind, she would then make a pattern for it. And she was self-taught. So she didn't know how to make a pattern. It was not until later after high school that you went to Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising.
Absolutely.
But in junior high school, she would create all these dress designs. At 22 years old, she was so motivated and extremely driven. The inception of her company, Fusion Designs, was born. Now, during the 80s, your designs were featured in Saks Fifth Avenue, Nordstrom's, and Macy's.
Yes.
This was not easy to do back in the 80s, and being only in her 20s. Then her life began to shift as she got married and became a mom.
Yes. One of the greatest joys in life.
Now, and then later in your life, you suddenly lost your husband, and then you were overwhelmed with a lot of financial circumstances and obstacles, not to mention getting through the grief and rediscovering who she is all over again in that particular season. The one thing that I really admire about Dorez is that you really refuse to give up.
Oh, no.
She just didn't have it in her.
Can't
I'm telling you. She had to choose to redirect her energies and rebuild her life. That is not an easy thing after you've been married for 30 years. She has been spending time rediscovering who she is, what she likes, doesn't like, where the boundaries are for her. So kudos to you, Dorez. Congratulations.
Yes, pat me on the back. I earned it.
She moved from being striving to thriving in her life.
Yes.
What I hear in your story is that there is a great deal of strength and pushing through and not giving tenacity, really. Sounds like you had several instances where you asked yourself the question, should I stay or should I go?
I think we ask that all the time.
Yeah.
But there are bigger moments in that you have to make that big choice. So
Right.
yes.
Yeah. Sometimes I ask, should I get that ice cream cone or not?
That's easy.
That's kind of a 50-50, depending where I am.
It's still a choice.
It's still a choice. And it does affect the trajectory of my life because that's like a couple pounds that I don't really need, right? So, okay, so let's move forward. So is it okay if we start with your company, your passion,
Yes.
Fusion Designs? Walk us through, because I know that was like deep in your spirit, that passion for fashion.
Oh, yes.
And you had dreams of what you wanted to achieve, and starting so early in your 20s.
Yes.
Like, walk us through the process of how you started to ask that question and then where you ended up.
Well, definitely I wanted to be famous at the age of 21. That was kind of an overstretch, but at least you have to have a goal so that you can get there whenever that may be, but you have to start somewhere.
Right. And if you don't know a goal, you're just shooting at nothing.
Oh, you're just
going nowhere.
You're just going step by step without any
direction.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to find a path and then go with it. So I definitely wanted to have my own company at the age of 21. So unfortunately, it was a year late, but that's okay. We got there, and it was really challenging and a lot of time out of my life. And so I just had to keep pushing forward until I met the man of my life, my soulmate, as I call him. So that kind of redirected my life a bit, although kids was not in the picture. But once we decided to have kids 3 years later, I think people should be married and not have kids at least for 2 to 3 years. Just be a couple and then have kids.
Get adjusted to that life.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because moving from single to married is a whole different world.
Yeah, all the sharing stuff. Oh boy, that was challenging, but you have to do it. And then once you get comfortable, then you move on to the next milestone in your life. And that's when I had kids. But my industry was very challenging and very demanding. So I had very little time for home and for my family. So it was starting to take a toll on me. So that's when I had to make that decision. Should I stay or should I go in this profession that I've built 26 years of for what I love to do? So I decided to put my family ahead of everything else. And since I've already got to the point in my profession where I was comfortable and I got the joy out of it, so the next chapter started to unfold.
And really, you accomplished a lot at such a young age to have your designs in Nordstrom's and Saks and Macy's. That's a lot, especially for that industry. Fashion design is so incredibly competitive.
Yes. Yeah. That's
so
the word.
What I'm hearing is that you were in the industry of fashion design was 20 plus years.
26 years of my life.
So you had given yourself that time to do what you need to do. So the transition was not as difficult in that case.
Correct.
Okay.
It was not. We just had to recreate ourselves. And so my husband and I always talked about being in business. So that was a good decision to move forward with.
Yeah. And so the skill set that you experienced and that you earned as having your own business, that transferred over into you and your husband's business.
Oh, yes. Great discipline. What I learned in the past 26 years of being in the industry, I moved over to this new business that we were building together. So basically you have the skills, whatever skills you develop, you just use that in whatever you choose to go, whatever path you choose to go to for moving forward.
And it doesn't go to waste.
No.
So the thing is just keep moving forward. If you have it in your spirit to try something, step out and do it. You're not failing if it doesn't work out, you are falling forward.
Exactly.
And all the skill set that you learn in that trying, you can use it in the next situation that you want to be in.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So let's move forward to your marriage, because let's just say anybody who's been married for 30 years, there are going to be times.
To say the least. We all know, ladies, right? We know what what goes on from 1 to 5, 5 to 10 to 20 to 30.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So
Big
there will
changes.
be times, I mean, if you are a woman that never had that challenge, great. I applaud you. But I know that marriage can be tough.
Yes.
And there are going to be times when you feel like, should I stay or should I go? I don't know. So can you give me just a quick pro and con, maybe a list of how you decided to stay in your marriage? Because there were times where you probably felt like, okay, maybe it's time for me to go.
Oh, yes, yes. You always want to take care of yourself and put yourself forward and do what you want to do in your life. So it was challenging because I was expecting my husband to make me happy and fulfill that void. And then I come to realize that, you know, I have to kind of still make myself happy. He would always used to tell me, you know, don't make me do what I don't want to do, which bothered me because I would make plans to do this, do that. And sometimes he just wasn't in the mood to participate, but he would never stop me. He says, do it. Just whatever you want to do it. Just don't make me do what I don't want to do. So I started to inherit that thought process, and it really did wonders for me because then I wasn't expecting him to make me happy. I was then making myself happy. And that's what made me be okay when he wasn't interested in doing certain things. And that's what helped our marriage.
And that eventually helped you grow as well, right? Because a lot of times in our age bracket, marriage was you just do everything and all things for your husband and your kids. I'm not saying that's bad at all. What was missing, and tell me if you agree, is that there was no taking care of self. Right.
It got to the point where when you surrender all your time to just your husband and your kids, then you lose yourself in the interim. And that's where you have to step back and try to find yourself again and be happy with yourself, be okay, and still share time with everyone else in your life, including, you know, your siblings and everyone has a place in your life. When they give you something in return. So you want to invest. And so invest in you first. And then from there, you invest in others. And that way you have a balance in what you do for the rest of your life.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you don't study yourself, how can you explain yourself, your actions, your moods, whatever, with the man that you're married to or your friends or your family? You got to learn to love you, because then your love comes from a place of authenticity. And you can give without feeling a spirit of rejection or fear or anything like that. And, you know, if people don't agree, that's okay. That's okay. That's where they're at. And you can just keep it moving.
Exactly. So just create the list of all the pros and cons that will help you make that decision. And that way you're comfortable with it. And that's what makes you move forward with strength and with a smile on your face. That's what I say to do or suggest.
So let's just for a quick moment. There are a couple of wives that have gone through the loss of their husbands. What helped you get through that? You know, not just survive it, because I couldn't even imagine what that feels like. But she just didn't just survive it. She thrived through it.
Yes, it was definitely an unexpected. He died 10 days after being hospitalized out of the blue. So that was a shock. We weren't prepared. We didn't have a plan set in place yet. So having to redirect everything and then having to be there for my son was the most important thing in my life to do, because I had to pick myself up. And I can't just fall into depression or anything that you know we tend to be weak to. So I just decided to move forward and create a plan for myself and for my son. And that's what I did. We made changes. We moved from an apartment to another apartment. We started saving, and then we decided to buy a home together. And this way it would be an investment for him should something happen to me. So Rosita was very instrumental in doing that. She helped me find the perfect home for now, and worked out beautifully. It was such an ease to go through the process, because buying a home is very stressful, but you made it so simple, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to say that, and I watched her go through that as well. And I had no idea how to help her with that. So
Well, just being there was the biggest help ever. It was all that anyone needed. You didn't have to say anything, just your presence made it all easier because I felt support. I felt the comfort. And I think that's all that was needed. No one can really say anything that would make you feel better. It's just being there that counts.
yeah, but I think it's important as well is we have to feel our feelings. We still have to feel them. We got to deal with them. We can't just keep pushing them down, because at some point you will explode. And the poor person you're exploding on has no idea what the heck just happened. So I hear you say that you dealt with your feelings, you felt your feelings, but it didn't overtake you.
Correct. You have to let those feelings out. I mean, I used to go in my closet and cry so my son wouldn't hear me. I would take a drive in the car and just listen to self-help tapes and just music that's to soothe my soul. No words, just sometimes music is all you need. But yeah, you have to let those feelings out. You have to appreciate it, and you have to accept those feelings, because that's a part of you. So how you deal with it is up to you, basically, because you could either wallow in it or you could grow with it, because they're there for your strength. So welcome those feelings and just find the strength within it.
And a lot of times I know that in the midst of a trial, whether we're either at the beginning of a trial, in the middle of one, or we're victoriously walking out.
Yes.
Regardless, is that if you look back, the trials that we have been through in life, or individually, it helped us to get to the next level. If you choose to move forward.
Yes.
A lot of times people don't move forward and they end up stuck.
Yes. Yes. You can't do that. It's up to you, basically, to grow or to not grow. And change is growth. So you have to welcome changes, no matter how scary it looks or how painful it might look. You have to welcome it, because that's how you grow. Yes,
exactly. And for me, how I went through a lot of my changes and a lot of my painful trials was that I began having a close relationship with God. And then I would just say, okay, Lord, you know what's going on, and focused on trying to process the feelings and find coping mechanisms that were healthy. Not just going out to drink or get in a relationship.
Right.
That was a mindset that I had to choose. So everyone has a different mindset. There's a way to go about it. So you got to find your space,
exactly
what works for you. But I just want to say that whether you stay or go, it's going to be painful. Either decision will have its pros and cons, but it is not impossible.
But just remember, even if it's painful, there's always happiness. It's a yin yang. So there's always two parts to the coin, and you just have to look at both of them.
So I guess you got to decide whether you want to stay on the yin side or the yang side, or be both in the middle.
Be both. That's what I say. That's what balance is all about.
So I just we're coming to the end. Oh, no, actually we have a little bit more time.
We do.
Fantastic. We do.
Well, let's keep talking.
Keep talking. So what was one thing, because you were first time home buyer, so let's just touch upon that.
Okay, sure.
What was the one thing that you think that might help a first time home buyer? Because it's such an overwhelming process.
Oh, it's scary, because the commitment, you're thinking 15, 30-year commitment, versus renting and moving when you feel like moving. So the whole thing to buying a home is that you need to commit to it, and just know that it's going to be good for you moving forward, and for your future. So that's basically the thought of that was scary, but at the same time, it was what the outcome is going to be. I always like to see the projection. I like to see the road. I like to see the forest instead of just the trees in front of me.
Yeah, and I think that's what really helped in her process to move forward. Whether it's changing careers, getting married, staying in a marriage,
Mhm.
you know,
Yes.
buying a home. It's all about mindset.
Yes.
And she has been always a positive force in my life.
Oh,
She's
thank
always
you.
positive. She's always encouraging. So, and that's what helped. That's what helps her. And it helps me to get through the tough times in
Yes.
life,
Yes.
because you got to have your tribe, right? You
Mhm.
got to have
Yes.
people around you that support you
Yes.
and encourage you.
Yes.
If you have people in your life that are like, oh, don't do that. Oh, that's a waste of time.
Mhm.
Those are kind of the ones you want to consider whether you should stay or
Bye.
go, right?
You just say bye-bye.
Yeah. So the thing is that you have to protect your peace.
Yes.
Study who you are.
Yes. That's
What you like, what you don't like,
Mhm.
what boundaries you want to put in
Mhm.
place,
Yes.
because it is difficult to make changes when you have people trying to pull you down all the time,
Yes.
right?
You have to know who you are, or at least continue to know who you are.
And so what kind of things did you do to find out who you are?
Well, I first started talking to myself, but not in public. But I started talking to myself, and in my head, I would think, and I would project of where I've been and where I want to go. So I started to just map everything out. Sometimes I go back years and say, okay, I started doing this, and where am I at today? What did I get out of what I started? So yeah, studying yourself is basically it. You're your own university. So once you graduate and you become a master of yourself, then the world is yours, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And it's not always going to be easy. You can have all these plans in place
Mhm.
and then something takes a shift.
Yeah, you have to be flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, you're going to have to choose in every given situation. If you
Mhm.
make it to your 60s and 70s, you will have been through some stuff.
Oh yes, yes.
And you will learn how to navigate through those challenges.
Yeah. And some things you just say to yourself, like you would always say, it's not that serious.
It's not that serious. And then I would be so worried about something, and she'd say, let it unfold. And I would be like, what? No, I can't let it unfold. I have to have control, because a lot of us who had to make decisions early in life or were single parents,
Mhm.
we had that control was a safe place for us.
Yes.
We were able to decide whether we wanted to move forward, how we wanted to move forward,
Yes,
what it was going
yes.
to look like, what we weren't going to have stopping us. But it was a challenge. And
Yes.
I didn't take the time to study myself. I just kind of survived, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have been recently, so that's good. I mean,
Yeah, recently.
you have to at some point, just stop yourself and say, okay, slow down, back the truck up,
Back it up.
and just regroup, reassess your priorities, and start with you.
Yeah.
Start from deep within, who you are, who you want to be, and how do you get there. With the help of everyone else around you, of course, it makes it better. Like you said, a tribe. You need that tribe. You can't.
Yes.
No man is an island, so you have to have people around you that can benefit you. Even sometimes the bad people help you understand what you don't like.
Yeah, yeah. So just, I'm not saying that you're never going to have bad people in your life, because what happens is that sometimes people are in our life for a season. A lot of times.
Season and a reason.
Yeah. Ooh. Might have to coin that. So sometimes people, you may be hurt by somebody, but here's the thing, you will learn from that. You will learn from that. So just take it one day at a time and keep moving forward. Dorez, this was a lot of fun. Yes. I admire your strength and positive energies. I thank you so much for joining me today.
I love being here.
And I just want to let you guys know that it is her birthday. So happy birthday to you. And if you didn't catch it, Dorez is my older sister.
Can you tell?
She has been in my tribe for a long time, all my life, really.
Oh, yes.
So I just want to thank you for being here, and I thank you for your strength and always supporting me.
Oh. Of course.
So here, guys, I just want to let you know, call me at 619-665-9086. Call me for your real estate needs, whether you're buying, selling, or investing in property.
Yes.
I will help you navigate through there. I really take it serious to make sure that you are taken care of. And also, as a discovery coach, I offer a 1-hour complimentary coaching session.
Fantastic.
And you can get that at my website, movingforwardforlife.com. And okay, so I'm having technical difficulties here.
Oh, it always happens.
You got to roll with it.
There's always going to be something challenging in life, so you just welcome it.
So
it's all good.
My last thing I want to tell you is that I am rolling out my 3-month program coming in the summer called Discover the Beauty in You. Schedule an appointment with me. Let's chat to see if this is a good group for you to be in. There will only be 4 women per group. So thank you so much. As always, my job is to bring awareness to you, to let you know that you are not alone ever, and to offer help as you create a life that you desire.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching live on Facebook, Transformation Talk Radio. Rosita here, your discovery coach and realtor. Thank you for listening to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. With me, Rosita McLaurin. Through my own personal healing journey, I've come out stronger and braver. I know firsthand how hard, how lonely, and heartbreaking it is to continually live in pain. I will help you learn to face the good, the bad, and the not so pretty parts of yourself so you can uncover the fabulous in you. Join me every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific.